without Kawhi Leonard, but they will be with Eric Bledsoe. Pat Beverley and Rondo go to the Grizzlies, 2 in this arms race for the Battle of Los Angeles. Well, with Kawhi Leonard recovering from surgery, it doesn't feel like that's necessarily the case anymore, especially with Russell Westbrook being added to the Lakers. However, they acquired Eric Bledsoe. They sent Rajon Rondo and Pat Beverley to the Grizzlies to get Bledsoe. Do you think that makes them a better team after this move?
I believe if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, it makes them a better team. It's a fringe move in theory if they're not going to get all NBA caliber Kawhi. And hopefully he's able to recover from his injury and able to play a lot of games this year. But this is a classic example of veteran contracts moving around and adjusting to your role as you get older. Because a couple of seasons ago, Patrick Beverley was the starting point guard of the Los Angeles Clippers, right? Now he's going to go to Memphis. That's Ja Morant's job. Dylan Brooks, who you know I really like, having those 3 on the floor, in particular the latter 2, they're going to be locking down defensively. So now Pat Bev in a new role, a reduced role, but still defensively he's going to be able to have an impact. I like it for him a lot. And Eric Bledsoe made some plays when he was in LA. He wasn't necessarily the guy that could play alongside Zion because he's not necessarily a shooter. And so he's been to a couple of teams. I like it for the Clippers. I like it for the Grizzlies, who outplayed expectations this season.
Jalen Rose, the expectations are high for the number 1 overall pick, Cade Cunningham. And while it still is early, and while it still is Summer League, he's meeting up to those expectations. We'll talk about your number 1 overall pick and Luka Garza, your favorite new performances, but against the New York Knicks, 7 for 10 from 3, Jalen Rose. What do you think of Cade?
The number 1 stunner. And the thing is, Jacoby, our young guys are looking good. I seen Killian Hayes put somebody in the spin cycle and make a 3 from the left wing. I see Bey slashing down the lane. He always makes 3s and cutting and making layups and dunks. But here's the thing that stood out to me the most about Summer League. Who says no? I'm on the phone right now. Doncic or Garza?
Garza.
I'm taking Garza.
Oh,
the
Garza.
real Luka's in Detroit. The real Luka's in Detroit, baby. The next NBA MVP out there looking like Bill Laimbeer out there getting buckets. You see him.
Oh, he looks light on his feet. Like he used to just be jump hooks and turnarounds. Like he's hitting step back 3s. Look at him walk into a 3. Look at this Luka. I'm going Garza over Doncic all day. I mean, Doncic is great, but Garza just has a higher ceiling. Garza can control the game more. Yes. He impacts the game more than Doncic does when he's on the floor. Keep an eye on Garza. Maybe he'll impact the G League games that he plays in this year.
The ceiling is the roof. Or what did MJ say? The roof is the ceiling. Yeah, that still doesn't make sense.
Peyton Pritchard played in a Pro-Am, ended up with 92 points in a Portland Pro-Am game. Jalen Rose, 92 for the Celtics point guard.
And then going back to Vegas to play with his Celtics team. I like him out here getting work, getting better every summer. And this is what pros do in the summer, Jacoby. My career high in the Summer League at the Saint was over 70. We was playing against the Pershing Doughboys. Shout to the OG Steve Smith. And the game ended in the 4th quarter. You ready for this? Because we had a team fight. So shout to Boo. Shout to Khalil. My guys. Detroit, stand up. I see you Peyton Pritchard out there getting buckets.
So you had 77 and you didn't even finish the game. So you had 77 in the 4th and you didn't even finish the game.
Dog, the video was...
End of an era in LA for the Clippers. At least over the weekend, they traded longtime point guard Patrick Beverley to the Grizzlies for Eric Bledsoe, who's headed back to the team that drafted him. Also going to Memphis in the trade, Rajon Rondo, Daniel Oturu. The deal saves the Clippers $30 million in luxury tax. It creates an $8.3 million traded player exception that they will have a year to lose. Max Kellerman. Did the Clippers improve?
They did. And this was a good trade for the Clippers. You know how we say you don't want to trade, break a dollar into 4 quarters in the NBA, but you want to turn 4 quarters into a dollar? Mm-hmm. This is more like 2 quarters into a 50-cent piece. Eric Bledsoe can attack the basket. You know, you give up Patrick Beverley, he's a defender. Rondo, high basketball IQ, but Rondo's getting long in the tooth. Like, he really has been in decline. And we saw it even like playoff Rondo didn't. When playoff Rondo didn't show up, that tells you he's just getting older. And Patrick Beverley was never a dynamic offensive player, but he could play some defense and, you know, give you that fighting spirit. Well, Bledsoe does the same thing. He can do defensively, even maybe be more disruptive defensively sometimes, based on his athletic ability. Then a guy, you know, like then what they've lost. And meantime, he's a player who can get to the basket and score. And they have shooting on the team, so Bledsoe's not a great shooter, but it's not as much of an issue. In fact, the spacing may even help him attacking the basket. This is the Clippers just got better because they got the best player in the deal.
Max, I disagree with you. It's not that I'm saying that Patrick Beverley is better than Eric Bledsoe, because I'm not. And I like Eric Bledsoe. He's not a scrub. He can play really strong as well, and he can put some points up, and I get that point. So technically speaking, you're right about him being a better player. But I got to tell you, I'd rather have Patrick Beverley come postseason. Last time I checked, the Clippers are trying to win the championship. This is what it is. The Los Angeles Clippers, a legitimate argument to be made, should be standing here today as NBA champions. If Kawhi Leonard had gone down near the end of the Utah series, a lot of people believe the Clippers would be in the Phoenix Suns. And I'm not ruling that out. Not with Kawhi and Paul George playing the way that he was playing. With Kawhi averaging 30 on 57% shooting from the field and 39% from three-point range before he went down. But then when you take into account, you know, the energizer bunny that Patrick Beverley was, his ability to defend, he actually was hitting some key, not in abundance, but he was hitting some key pivotal shots. End of the Utah series, obviously a couple of games against Phoenix. I just look at it from the standpoint that being a professional Hall of Fame pest that he is, somebody that doesn't just goes out there and plays, but really, really tries to get into your head. I don't see that in Eric Bledsoe. I see a guy just goes out there and plays hard. He doesn't cheat you. He's got game. He can play. But he's not somebody that's an energizer bunny that provides that kind of spark. And I think that come postseason time, particularly when you look at the Western Conference, I think those kind of intangibles are things that you need to get you over the hump. And I don't see that being Eric Bledsoe, which is why he was gone from Milwaukee and why they had no problems trading him for Drew Holiday. And ultimately, he was saddled in New Orleans before, and ultimately Memphis before he ended up being back in Los Angeles with the Clippers. I think that Beverley is going.
That anybody had a bad weekend. Please don't get me wrong, but when I looked at Zach Wilson, it was 6 of 9 passes for just 63 yards, but he was throwing like 5 different receivers. He was efficient on third down. He was in control, and I think for me, Max, is really, really simple in this regard. I'm thinking about what you're going to be asked to do for the most part during a game, and whether or not that's something you look smooth and comfortable and efficient doing more so than anything else. I'm not trying to say that it was a lights out performance or, you know, you saw a spectacular play from him here or there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what I saw from him is what I would expect from a starting quarterback on a Sunday afternoon. It wasn't anything heroic or anything like that. It was just somebody who looked smooth and comfortable and in complete control. And when I think about the 7 first downs or so that he helped accumulate